Welcome back to page 121. We're going to take a look at another issue of Challenge Magazine, number 35. I had mentioned in the last video that I wasn't sure how long I was going to continue doing these, but I got a really popular response to it, so I'll keep going. I love going through these old challenges. I just didn't know if viewers liked it. So this is GDW's Magazine of Futuristic Gaming. And we got a nice cover. We got on the tank, Hell on Wheels. This was definitely Twilight 2000 cover. Twilight 2000 was something they were really excited about at the time because they figured Traveller was paying the bills. They tried to create some other stuff to help pay the bills. They came up with 2300 AD and Twilight 2000. So the very first thing we see inside the front cover is an ad for TSR. Win the battle for the 25th century, the Buck Rogers game. This was out in 1988. And the saga of Buck Rogers and the Buck Rogers fortune funding D&D toward the end of the 80s and all the problems that created can be dealt with in someone else's video. That's not a history thing I go into a lot. But here we had the Buck Rogers board game and some novels, some Buck Rogers novels. I have to tell you, none of our group had any interest in the Buck Rogers stuff. I didn't buy any of it. So Challenge Magazine, as I said, this one's from 1988. Lauren K. Wiseman is the managing editor and was throughout the run. From the management, we get a nice little editorial from Lauren Wiseman. And Just Detected, Harpoon Miniatures, Terrain Maker, and how to sell your game design. And then with GDW products, including Traveller, available through most distributors in West Germany, Japan, United Kingdom, Italy, Sweden, New Zealand, Australia, Finland, and Norway. So they were a pretty big deal back in the day. Paper Mayhem, the informative play-by-mail magazine from Ottawa, Illinois. Oh, that's south of me. Fantasy role-playing by mail. There you go. This was out of Scottsdale, Arizona, from Flying Buffalo. And then we have City Maker for Twilight 2000. Generate Twilight 2000 towns and villages on the spot. I always liked a good generation system. I didn't really use the Twilight 2000 stuff much. But still, a lot of this would slop over to that. Space 1889. Another game I never really played, but steampunk was not really a thing yet, but this is the early teeth cutting of it. Victorian Times and Society. Victorian Society. Space Aliens. Interesting idea. It was just nothing that landed with me. Space Gamer, Fantasy Gamer is back. Back in time for Christmas. The new Space Gamer, Fantasy Gamer magazine. We have a new art director here, a new editor. Pretty exciting times for these guys. And they were out of Long Beach, California. Traveller News Service. Oh, my immediate flip. I would go to the TNS. I would go to the Lauren Wiseman editorial. Those would be two of the earliest reads in all this. This takes us up during the Rebellion era, of course, through 1118. Again, pre-internet, this is how we were getting our info between this and Traveller's Digest. Mega Traveller, The Spice of Life. Establishing an ongoing Mega Traveller campaign is the creation of believable non-player characters. NPCs are a challenge for any DM worth his dice. NPCs can be a real challenge. Sometimes it's somebody you have to make up on the fly. Sometimes it's someone you didn't think was important, but the players make important for whatever reason. Now you've got to kind of wing stuff. Articles like this are always very helpful for whatever game system. So here we have a bunch of charts so you can round out the guy's life or the woman's life, all for Mega Traveller. And we take a look at, from the Traveller's Digest, we get to look at Dur Telemon, one of the regular characters from Traveller's Digest magazine. I just did a slight profile on the 4 characters in the Traveller's Digest magazine and those adventures, and Dur is one of them. So that's pretty neat. And then we have Fire Aboard Ship for Mega Traveller. That's kind of neat. That could be a big problem. I've used it. It's a great way to get your characters really working together. Your players, if there's a little bit of friction going on for whatever reason, there's nothing like a fire aboard a ship and jump or away at a far point in space to really focus everyone's attention. There you go. And the Albedo role-playing game, universe of anthropomorphic science fiction adventure. You want to play a space mouse? There you go. And this was by Thoughts and Images out of Seattle, Washington. Mega Traveler, science fiction role-playing adventure in the Shattered Imperium. This, of course, is a house ad for GDW. Then we have Battlescape from GeoHex. You just lay the mat out over some stuff, and you've got some 3D terrain. These were actually pretty nice. And they had the little hills and everything, too. Now for 2300 AD, A World Invaded. So we got to look at some of the problems going on in 2300. I did play 2300 back in the 80s. I really didn't play it a long time. Ran a short campaign, but it kind of fell apart by itself, and I never really went back to 2300. It's a fine game. There's nothing wrong with it. But again, if I'm going to play space, I want to play Far Future a la Traveler. So finishing out the adventure, the long adventure. And a lot of the 2300 stuff can be adapted to Traveler. And then we get a look at, for Battletech, the AFT-1B Afterburner. It's a lightweight battle mech designed for long-range scouting and infiltration. Ooh, got to take a look at this. I'd forgotten that this Battletech article was in here. I like old Battletech stuff. There we are. It's a 30-ton mech. That's not displacement. That's 30 tons. It's Battletech. There you go. A nice long look. They did some really nice Battletech articles in Challenge Magazine. And then some clarification, errors and corrections. And then we continue on with jump jets for this mech. And then we get an ad for Space Master, the role-playing game from ICE, Iron Crown Enterprises. I liked Space Master's universe quite a bit. I found the mechanics clunky, but I liked the universe a lot. And Traveler's Digest. Love Traveler's Digest from Digest Group Publications out of Boise, Idaho. I really enjoyed these guys. It's a shame this stuff really isn't available. Team Recovery for Star Wars. Yes, I remembered that there were several Star Wars articles in this magazine. And this would have been for the West End Games Star Wars. I did play that. That was a fun game. The H-Wing Strike Fighter for Star Wars. And then we take a look at an ad approved for use with Mega Traveler. Detailed Starship deck plans now available. And this is through Seeker. And these guys were out of, where was Seeker? Findlay, North Dakota. And Wrecked Enterprises is coming. Mega Companion for Amiga, Commodore 64, Commodore 128, IBM PC. Supplements for Mega Traveler, Black Friday, Psionic Handbook, and Spica Sector. I never had any of that stuff. Star Trek, Spaceports in the Star Trek universe. I don't remember if this was still FASA at this time, doing Star Trek. I don't remember who had the license in 1988. If you know, please leave a comment below. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I didn't play it after FASA lost the license. I didn't play Star Trek much past about 85, so this would have been beyond me. But still some pretty interesting orbital mechanics and things like that. And anything Star Trek translates nicely to Traveler. Sky Galleons of Mars, some miniatures for Space 1889, brought to you by Game Designers Workshop. And then for Renegade Legion, the 9876th Renegade Armored Support Unit. I liked Renegade Legion a lot. I got Renegade Legion in Christmas of 90. My wife bought it for me, and I remember it was Christmas of 90. She was pregnant with our first son, who was born in January of 91. And she actually, at over 8 months pregnant, was working downtown still, and one of the last days she was downtown before she went on maternity leave, she actually went into one of the game stores there by LaSalle Street Station and bought me the entire set of Renegade Legion, the 4 main box sets, as my Christmas gift. The place was doing a sale. If you bought a $25 box set, you got another one for a penny. So she bought me the whole thing for just over $50. I love Renegade Legion. It's so much fun. And then we get approved for use with Traveler. We get the undersea, the mountain, desert environments from Game Masters. I was glitch on which company this was. Game Lords. And then Lee's Guide to Interstellar Adventure, one of the best books ever done. Gen Con Origins Report, telling you everything that happened at Gen Con 87. And then we got a review of Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. This would have been probably the earliest version of Rogue Trader. And then we have the Judge Dredd Companion. And then City Block for Judge Dredd. Oh, no, maybe City Block's not, requires Judge Dredd, the role-playing game of Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. Okay. Never played Judge Dredd. Rogue Trader, I think I played the newer version with my youngest son. And then a bunch of classified ads. I've said before, these are the ones that we use to stay in touch with each other pre-internet. It's just how things were back then. And then a preview of next issue, which, again, Twilight 2000, Space 1889 for Mega Traveler, an adventure for IRIS characters in Mega Traveler. IRIS is their secret agency. And then we're going to get a look at Star Trek 2300 AD, Renegade Legion, and a Paranoid Misadventure. What are you looking at for Twilight 2000 by GDW? Gas is only beginning. And then the house ad on the back, the best just got better, 2300 AD revision, Mankind's Battle for the Stars, and the equipment guide, and of course an ad for Challenge magazine. So lots of long articles in this one. That's okay. I like it. It was a fun issue of Challenge. This was one I liked. There was enough Mega Traveler in there to keep me happy, plus the Battletech and the Star Trek. I was quite satisfied with this issue. So there you have it. That's another look at a Challenge magazine from 35 years ago. This is number 35. Let me know what you thought. If you like it, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time on page 121.